Down Blink, it's your buddy Yink. Welcome to the Computer Show. Welcome to another video. I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 1st July 2025. It is kind of day. Sadly, as you can see, it's raining outside, so it is cancelled, which is exactly the video of today. Yes, you see a rainbow here. It's a really rare rainbow because if you look at it carefully, it is complete from start to finish. You can see it. It's actually really rare. So today we're talking about the kind of day. We're talking about how I feel to be cancelled. This is kind of like a part 2, if you will, of our video of this morning, which was Canadian guilt. How I feel guilty to be Canadian when it's convenient and to be French Canadian when I wanted. I should be proud of my roots no matter what they are. And I should be proud of my roots no matter how people view it, right? So, the reason why we're doing this video, the reason why we're doing a part 2 is because I did this video before going to the party that happened. And then the party that happened was cancelled because of the rain, because of the temperature, right? So now what you're saying, Ink, why make a video about that? Well, I think it's important. See, because it was kind of day, did I care a lot, right? And it shows just how little it matters and how much it should matter. This is a, in French, we should say, une prise de conscience. In English, it's possibly, oops, I dropped the thing. It's possibly acknowledging something that happened that I should, oh my God, are you kidding me? There's no fucking way. Okay, you can still see it. There's no fucking way. Okay, never mind. I thought we had lots of rainbow, which would have been so cool because I got to film it. Yeah, with Nature Corn, what I'm realizing is, if you don't get it on camera, you're not gonna get it. It's really rare. So what happened is, when I went in, I possibly pushed the camera. That's why it wasn't showing up. We're still seeing the rainbow a little bit, which is cool. So, acknowledging how shitty it is. And this is a big acknowledgement because, first of all, if I'm being completely honest, well, it's kind of like a moot point. So a moot point is something that is null. It's neither good or bad. It's a big old zero. And we had a party on the 24th, which I went, which wasn't for me, but at least the city did something, right? Today we had a little party, which was canceled, but there was still something. There was still some activities. So yes, it was still something in the city. And although it wasn't as enjoyable, it was still something I went to. Now, both of these, I would have went. I wouldn't have went if it wasn't to make content. I'm just being honest here. I would have not went if it wasn't for making content. But then again, I wouldn't wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning if it wasn't for content. There's a lot of things I wouldn't do if it wasn't for content. So this is kind of normal behavior. This is something that you're able to acknowledge that you're doing on a general basic. Why is also important? Because it's not isolated behavior. It's not behavior that has to do with Canada Day, nor the behavior that has to do with Saint Jean, which is the French Heritage Day of Quebec, which is 24th June, 1st July. I did not decide to ask for an event. I decided to continue acting the way we're acting normally, which is, again, continuation. Nothing new, nothing bad. However, my reaction to the Canada was, and I think it's a defensive mechanism, was coping. So our way of coping is, you know what, it didn't really happen, but at least we tried. It went. I want to show you this because this is also very beautiful. I want to show both, because it's rare that we have a beautiful nature corn like that. Talking about filming something or not, do you think that there's a certain use of filming every single day nature corn? Lately I was complaining about clear sky. Well, there's clear sky, however, are the exact same. If we're talking about clouds, they're moving, they're different, they're unique, It's like filming it's like if you got to film a snowflake, which on this camera I probably could, with a 30%, with a 30 study time to Zoom, I possibly could. We barely see it anymore. But it's still there, and I'm happy because we filmed for 8 minutes, and I got to film it at its glory, at its peak, which is kind of cool. That being said, with today, was I pissed that it didn't happen? No. Did I really care? Kinda and kinda not. Did I care that it was celebration? Not really. Did I care that my city was doing something? Yes. This whole behavior. For example, the French show, I went in with the presumption that the band that was gonna be there, which is an older lady. I'm not saying that older lady cannot rock, but I'm saying that some people, you have to see the prime, and you have to see like, okay, well, this was a really good show. I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised, first of all, and I gotta say, there's a lot more people that showed up than I thought, which is amazing, because it does show that she still has impact on culture, culturally speaking. And yes, culturally speaking, she is one of the big star. So that was great for the city. That was great for the city. We didn't have Prime Marjo, which is her name, but we still had Marjo, which is kind of cool. So I went in expecting nothing, right? And I got out having a great show. This is fucking unbelievable. You see, when it comes to the fireworks, we only get them twice a year, which is not true, because on New Year's you have the fireworks. However, on New Year you also have the show of the New Year. So, for example, there's a whole night dedicated to that. There's a couple of shows that talk about the year, and usually they're humoristic, but also like nice little recap, you know. And that's it. If it was a film, kind of good. Now, when I saw the shows, I could have spectacles in French. I could have done a couple of things differently. Okay, well, that's a funny thing. That's a really funny thing. On La Saint Jean, I worked the whole day. On Canada Day, we made a mistake yesterday, where we filmed too much. So I could upload on YouTube, but I couldn't upload anywhere else because my phone was full. So I couldn't upload on TikTok. So when I woke up, the first step was to upload on TikTok. Now, I'm thankful because TikTok is faster than YouTube, but it's still a mess. Why is TikTok faster than YouTube? Well, TikTok upload one video at a time. YouTube will upload every single video at a time, you know? That's why TikTok is also better. TikTok will also compress your video, so compress the quality. YouTube will do the opposite. YouTube will take a shitty quality videos and upload it on high quality. So this is kind of what's going on. So today I had a bit more time and I watched people, and it was really nice. It was really nice because, so there's two things about that. This is in general, right? This is a huge video, but I feel like it's something that needs to be said. When it comes to content, I'm watching more French Canadian content creator. First of all, with English, I get a lot of content creation that is English. I don't really need one more or one less content creator that's English, which is sad to say, but is the truth. I watch a lot of French people, and it's funny because when I watch a French content creator on a platform, I don't know, I haven't done it, so you would think not, but on TikTok, with the battles, I do it, which is kind of nice, which is kind of something new, definitely something new. So that being said, I think it was cool because today I saw a lot of people celebrating Canada Day. I saw more people celebrating Canada Day than I saw people celebrating La Saint Jean, which is again the French heritage. But at the same time, there's more Canadian. There's French Canadian, right? I think we're a ninth of the population, or a little bit less than that, which is crazy. Of Canada, the whole thing. So see, Quebec is one of the biggest provinces, but it's still just a province. A province is what? A province would be similar to a state in the United States. You guys know that the states have 52, I don't know if it's 51 or 52 states. I know it's around those because there's 52 stars on the flag, so you would think it's 52 states. And yeah, it's kind of nice because, oh, fun fact, did you know that there's a letter that's present in no countries, which is Q? Yeah. Now I know what you said, bro. Quebec is with a Q. Yeah, but Quebec is not a province. It's not a country. It's a province. Yeah. So, um, with content creation, and at the same time, I'm watching very different content on platforms. So, for example, on YouTube, I'm watching something that is more relaxed, more archive. I'll watch documentary. I'll watch complete show compilation. Right now, what we're doing is we're watching Our Stern, and we're watching things that are like 12, 14, 15 years old, which are really cool because culture was different. Culture was different. The laws, the political correct didn't exist. It's another era. It feels like it's a different generation because it is a different generation. By the way, I don't think like I need something that happens now. I'll watch recipe. Right now we're on a deep dive of three things. There's the book talk, which is I really love. There's this guy I always forget his name. Super interesting. Maybe you know him. If I'm talking about him, he's a black dude, kind of built up, no glasses, cornrow, short cornrow. This guy is super amazing, and he has how can I say that? He has a very good understanding of his demographics. So, for example, it's like, okay, well, this is a series. Okay, well, this is one off. Okay, well, this is one of the books. He does it really nicely, and he's honest. Like, for example, see, the beginning was shit. The beginning was good. You know, so I like him. There's over talk. So, for example, we're suing. For some reason, I'm getting a lot of theories. So, for example, for Art the Clown, for Chucky, what is the next step for Chucky? For Child Plays. No, sorry. Dead by Daylight. Chucky is Child Play, but Dead by Daylight, which is another play. I'm making another video for that, which is kind of cool. And the last one is cooking. There is not any type of cooking, and it's air fryer cooker. Like for example, today I wrote down a recipe for s'mores, which is basically putting fucking marshmallow in the air fryer because they'll melt. You take it out of the air fryer one time, and you put chocolate on it, like big chunk of chocolate. And then you go put it back, and then you take graham cookies, which are big rectangles. What you do is you dip them like a dip fried chips, and you eat it, and that gives you a s'more. I'm gonna do that for sure, you know. Or yesterday was not yesterday, possibly Saturday or Friday, one of those two. They give you the recipe for a bean casserole, which was decadent. It looked good. I'm not a bean guy. I'm not a bean guy for a simple reason. Again, this is Canada. We have this meal in French Canada, which I'm gonna make a lot of people disappointed by not liking it, which is called the five au lard. The five au lard, what it is, it's beans, normal beans like Heinz beans, and you put them in a very sweet sauce, which is maple syrup. It's not maple syrup; it's a bit thicker than maple syrup. So what they do is, when you have the maple syrup, you cook it. The sugar in it caramelizes a little bit. Yes, you can make caramel with maple syrup, and because it caramelizes a little bit, it gets thicker. So what you do is you constantly stir, before you reach the point where it's cooking. You take it out. You get the right little sauce of maple. And that's pretty much it. To come back to the video, sorry. Side tangent, right? I do those. I do those sometimes. What was really cool with the whole thing, and I do mean really cool with the whole thing, is that how can I say this? By watching people's every kind of day, and I still felt, and this is kind of like an important thing, right? Kind of really important thing, because today, like I said, I made the video for Canada, and talk about how embarrassing it was that I chose this race, which is, oh, I'm Canadian. No, I'm French Canadian. Depending on what should we call it? On the person. I'm gonna say something that I hope doesn't sound racist. For example, right? I don't fucking know. You're Italian, and you go to a place. For example, I don't fucking know. You go to a place like Greece, right? And you meet this family, and you're also Italian. The whole time, your guys are spending time together, and you're recreating in a little Italy. You're having the culture. You're having the meals from Italy. But then you're in Greece, and you're like, well, I was supposed to go to Greece to observe the culture, but instead I kept my culture. So this diving in other country didn't really happen. So that sucks. Now, why am I saying this? Well, because Quebec and Canada feels like two different countries. It really does feel like a different country. I had a friend, Andrew, which lives in Ontario, which is the northern side of Canada, but more so the English side of Canada. So Toronto and Ontario are super important place historically speaking, but also culturally speaking, and they're huge city. They're not the biggest city in Canada, but they're very important. It would be a sort of New York and USA. It would be a kind of yeah, a New York. Um, yeah, it would be New York. So that it's not a capital, but it's close to it. I actually don't know where the capital of Canada is. I think it's Toronto, but I'm not sure. Um, and then by seeing those TikTok lives, so what happened is I went to this to the party and it was cancelled, and I was like, okay, well, why do we give a shit? Well, because you cannot film something, right? You can't really film something. Why did you give a shit about the show? The show of Marshall was great. Would I have stand there for 2 hours to watch the integrity of the show? Nah, no. No. Even though she gave a good show, I didn't have a good place. I didn't see. She gave herself. She was dancing, and she's in her 70s, guys. She's in her 70s, so something's about that. Her blood, amazing. Genetics, amazing. It was cool. It was really cool. Uh, Now I'm watching the presentation about the candidates, so what they're planning to do. Now, ultimately speaking, and I was gonna say that I didn't think about it. I didn't finish it. I'm sorry. So I was thinking I could have easily did. Okay. Oh my God. Now I understand when I talk about this. There's two reasons. So by being on TikTok, I saw people in Canada celebrated, but I also saw some French Canadian, and they were living in a city. I don't live in a city. I live in a Okay, I live in a town. I live in a town. I don't live in the city. Towns, cities are different. They'll look different, but they're different. I don't know if it's smaller or less people. I don't know. I'm not a cartographer, thank God, because you would get lost the fuck out. So we saw people, and they were celebrating the city, and there was bigger Canada Day. There was bigger celebration, and then I was like, holy shit! If there's nothing in Lachine, I can go there. But at the same time, fuck that. Of course, I'm happy that people are celebrating. At the same time, who is filming or who is documenting the thing in Canada? So I did a video today. There was no show. I did a video, and I was like, well, it's kind of important because okay, well, these are serious. Okay, well, the celebration for this. I started just saying something during the videos. I didn't finish it. Not this video, the first one we did. My father worked for the city, and the Sheen in 2008, we had sort of an Olympics. We didn't have the Olympics, but we have an activity of the Olympics. So the person carrying the torch passed by Lachine, and the city spent 10,000 upon 100,000. I don't have the exact same number. Building some stuff and making the cities nice, right? To bring to bring tourists. And then my father working for the city the next day. So okay, guys, the bosses, they're saying, okay, well, guys, let's take it down. My father was one of the loudmouth, just like I am, very voluble, very talkative, and he was like, okay, well, can we keep something as sort of like a memento? I don't care if we take down shit, but can we keep something as a memento? I said, no, everything in the garbage. And this was it was a big it was a big point of disappointment for my father. And at the same time, my love for the city is, of course, I was born here. Of course, I live here. But hearing people talk about it, hearing people talk about Lachine, and the funniest thing is, in a good way but in a bad way, people saying Lachine is a dirty town, or it's full of people that don't work and people that are abusing the government and charity, generosity, shit like that. And I'm like, fuck, I'm from Lachine, dude. So if you talk about people from Lachine, talk about me, right? Kind of like a pride. And ultimately speaking, this is also very important in the video because at the same time, Was I happy that we celebrate Quebec? Absolutely. Was I happy that we celebrate Canada? Absolutely. And then when you ask me what I am, if you don't know Quebec, and I know that you don't know Quebec, I'll say I'm Canadian. And if there's a chance that you know Quebec, I'll say Quebec. For example, and what is really weird is a mosquito. Did I get you? Not even. Fuck. I didn't want to break the glass, so I didn't get hard enough. Most of the time, what I'll say, which is completely weird, but I'll say I'm from Montreal. And surprisingly, which is crazy to me, there's more people that know what Montreal is than know what Quebec is. So Montreal it's a very popular city. It's a very huge city, so that's why people know Montreal. Coming back to the TikTok, seeing people live and celebrating Canada Day, kind of woke something up inside me. Again, we watched it after we went to the party that was canceled. Why did it wake up something in me? I was seeing people party, and I was seeing people make content out of Canada Day, and it was a huge celebration. Happy Canada Day, Happy Canada Day. And what's crazy? And what's crazy? So these are how can I say that? These are kind of like unwritten rules. So it's culturally speaking, it's not something that's widely known. The color of the French Canadian flag are blue. So when it's La Saint Jean, usually what you'll do is you'll wear some blue. The kind of color, the color of the flag of Canada are red. So usually what you'll do is you'll wear red. And I'm seeing people with red. I'm seeing people singing. I saw somebody singing, "Oh Canada." I know the French version. I don't know the English version. Terre de nos aïeux. Yeah, which is country of our ancestor, or what is it? Terre, birthplace, something like that, And I was just happy, and I was able to kind of feel related to it, kind of feel like, okay, well, this is pertinent to me. If somebody said, "Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo," I'll be like, "Thank you," but I'm not laughing, you know. Somebody said, "Hey, happy Hanukkah," hey, but I'm not Jewish, you know. And yeah, it was weird. It was weird because celebrating, for example, right? I don't know. Christmas. With Christmas, it's more of a family thing, right? It's more like staying at home, watching a good movie, remembering the good time, being comfortable, spending time with your loved one. Then at work, they also celebrate Christmas, and it's your like second family. It's like, okay, well, this is not my family, these are my friends, but I still want to celebrate Christmas with them. You know, at Christmas, when did you tell your boys, "Hey, Merry Christmas"? You know, it's odd. So again, I felt kind of related to it. When we go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. First of all, it's just gas. Well, for now, it's just gas. Maybe there you go, just gas. So, but I also feel like, okay, well, we went to a party, and I was having an expectation of a party, but the party didn't happen. So because the party didn't happen, then my expectation were left. I have to go to the bathroom. Sorry about that. Like I said, we ate some junk food today because we're celebrating. But yeah, so was I able to relate to the content of today because we didn't have a party? Was that the reason? Because if it is the reason, there's nothing wrong with that. However, it's kind of, how can I say that? You want the reason why you're able to enjoy something to be because I'm enjoying it, not because I'm kind of pushed to enjoy it. What I'm trying to say is because we didn't get to celebrate the holidays, we're trying to fight. It's like a relationship. I was with this girl, but then she left me. So I have this. I'm fucking single, and I'm finally single. I can get laid. And then you spend a couple of days partying, right? And then it hits you. Oh, I'm single, and now okay, well, the healing starts, right? And that's why people get into relationship quickly. People that are single that get to a relationship that get back to being single are right away trying to find a relationship because they're not able to handle the healing process. It's too much for them. So what they do is they put themselves in a position where they're gonna get hurt again. That way they don't have to heal. My neighbor's there. Yesterday, you know what she did? She put a chair outside there was a computer. There was a computer outside. She did the computer outside, which is insane. Because of there's bugs. There's actually bats in the machine. Yeah, there's bats. My father had one last month, 2 months ago. I don't know. We had a bat. So yeah. So, and if it is the case, then it's weird because we established that if I wasn't making content, I possibly wouldn't have cared about La Saint Jean or Canada Day. La Saint Jean Canada Day I would have cared. Like I said, it's funny because I did say this today. La Saint Jean would have just been an excuse to listen to French Canadian media, so videos, shows, music. That would have been my way of celebrating. And for Canada Day, it was a Trailer Park Boys episode, special because they're in Nova Scotia, which is close to Ontario. I think it's in Ontario actually. Nova Scotia, NS. So yeah. You know, it's a beautiful country. There's no war, a lot of resources. It's a good place to live. Economy isn't too fucked. It's a little bit fucked, but it's not too fucked. I don't know what happened to my mom today. She was worried about her dying, and she was saying, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen when I die? How are you gonna survive?" Mom, you're not gonna die tomorrow. First of all, when I was okay, I'm okay now. I don't think if you die, and I know that's horrible to say, but I'll have financial death spot, you know? I even have enough money for a coffin. We're good, Mom. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough because it felt great, but it felt also a bit of a guilty trip. When you realize, oh my God, these people are celebrating Canada Day, and although the show was cancelled, I'm still getting to celebrate it a little bit. Now, did I film people live and say, hey, you know, happy Canada Day? They did a compilation. Could have done a couple of lives, screen a little bit, record a little bit, and then put it together and say, hey, Canada Day, then put it on montage. 30, 40 content creator. And again, it would be easy because TikTok will push you in your region, you know? But I didn't do it because it was a small celebration. It wasn't a celebration. I even, it's nuts. Because we went out on our scooter, there's a bunch of people having a Canada Day flag on their houses. But then, and that's what I'm trying to say with the guilt. A lot of people had Quebec flag there. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough for long videos. But I love you, that you matter. I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy. Peace.